Davies. I'm an investigative journalist, and today we're going to be talking about the Summer Wells case with John Davis, True Crime, with John and his wife, Brandie Davis. I would like to welcome all of our subscribers, and I'm just going to give everybody a few minutes to come in here. And if you would be so kind as to give a thumbs up on your way in to help us out with the YouTube algorithm, I would really appreciate it. If you would like to join the top chat, all you need to do is subscribe and you can join the top chat, and your comments will appear on the screen right here next to me. I want to thank each and every one of our subscribers. I'm so grateful for all of you, and without you, this would not be possible. Energy Shots is here as one of our moderators, and I would like to start off by thanking our producers, Energy Shots and Sasha Angel. I'd also like to thank our channel members, and everyone who's been kind enough to donate a super thanks or a super sticker in the last 30 days. And please help me welcome John Davis and Brandie Davis from John Davis True Crime. Hi, guys. Welcome to Reporter Room. It's so great to see you today. Do you have your mic on? Okay, well, while they work on that, I just want to also thank our mods, Energy Shots, Sasha Angel, and ask if you want to join the top chat. You just need to subscribe and you can join the top chat, and your comment will appear right here on our screen. Everything that John, Brandie, and I are going to share today is our opinion, and opinions are not facts. So please don't send any negativity to anyone, anytime, anywhere. Let's be good to each other. Hi, Raybird. Hi, TT. Hi, Energy Shots. Hi, Rian Evans. Hi, Bonnie. Oh, okay. John and Brandie have clicked out. They're going to try to come back in with sound. So we have a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about Dawn Wells and Candus Bly, and we are going to be looking at the one of the letters that Dawn wrote, and we're going to be analyzing it for signs of narcissistic tendencies. And we're going to do that toward the end of the interview that I'm doing with John Davis True Crime. We're also going to be discussing Jody Sue Brown and her ex-husband, Andy. We're going to be talking about H and Candus Bly. We're going to be looking at Dawn Wells and the fact that his jail he'll be out October 31st, and he's opted not to go to rehab. Curious what your thoughts are on that. And it looks like they're trying to come back. And hey, guys.
Hey. I apologize. We had two open and we could not find the other one. I still don't know where it was. We had to restart.
I'm just glad you guys are here. Welcome. It's great to see you. So it's been a minute since I've gotten a chance to see you guys, and it's just I'm so thrilled to have you guys as guests today. And if you're not subscribed to John Davis True Crime, you will want to be. He's an outstanding creator, and his wife Brandie works alongside of him, and she does an amazing job also. And you'll also want to subscribe to Reporter Room, and if you're subscribed, you can join the top chat, which is right here, and your comments will appear on the screen during my interview with John and Brandie. Those of you that know me know that everything that John, Brandie, and I are going to say is our opinion, and opinions are not facts. So please don't send any negativity to anyone. Thank you so much. Okay, so do you think that Dawn, and I'll start with you, John, do you think that Dawn Wells and Candus Bly allowed someone to abduct Summer in the hours leading up to the 911 call? Because there's been a lot of speculation that maybe this was a lot more planned than we thought.
I still don't. I still feel like I did originally. I still feel like something happened from some form of neglect, and then the plan got put together to do the cover up. I'm amazed it's still going at 14 months, but I'm standing by it.
All right. What do you think, Brandie?
I kind of changed my mind. I think she just got out of Candace's sight and wandered off, and somebody grabbed her.
You did. So
yeah,
you don't think this was like some kind of planned thing
no,
from the Wells?
Yeah, I used to. Because a lot of people say there's footprints and everything else, like new stuff that's coming out, like she was carried and set down. I've heard. Yeah, so I kind of changed. My theory's different than his, probably.
That's okay. That's why I love having you both on. And I was just wondering if it was possible that maybe Dawn and Candace had planned the abduction in advance, and that's why H was brought along. That maybe that's why their script came across as so contrived, and why our gut instinct when we heard the story just didn't ring true. What do you think, John?
I think about H a lot because I always wonder, my thing with H is I just feel like it would be so hard for a 15-year-old boy to keep that to himself this long.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I mean, I could be naive, but I really feel like whatever H's part in it was either they used him as a pawn and somehow pulled it off, or H is just, I think he's blind to whatever happened.
Yeah. I agree.
What do you think, Brandie?
I think they might just took him along. Well, then I say an alibi, but then it don't go with my theory if I say that. So I don't know. See, there's so much stuff. It makes you go back and forth.
It does. It's true.
Then when I say maybe it was an abduction, it's probably by somebody she knew. But then I could go back to the milk jugs, that picture, because that's a weird picture. So I don't know. But I think H, he just went with him. I don't think he had anything to do with it, really.
Oh, I don't think he had anything to do with it. I thought maybe he was like the patsy or supposed to be the witness.
Yeah.
That if it was planned out, that's why Candace left the 3 boys at home and went and got him so that he could be her independent witness. Not that he was in on it, but just to hear that, the phone call, Dawn called to tell me that there's some guy on the property stalking kids or trying to touch the kids, something like that.
And it's weird. Hunter hadn't been with them for a while, like a couple months or so, right?
It was a while. I mean, I heard like 6 months.
All of a sudden, she calls them up and say, hey, you want to go. I guess they were going to swimming or.
And I kind of caught something with that when I watched that, because they actually says, I can't remember if it's H says it to Candace or Candace says it to H, but, we was catching up on what we had done in the last week. Well, if you hadn't seen somebody in months, why are you narrowing it down to just what they've done in the last week? That didn't make sense to me.
I never thought that.
Yeah. That does set off some red flags, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. Like maybe they were communicating prior to getting together. So, Brandie, Don Wells is going to get out of jail. He's going to get out of jail on October 30th. He's decided he's not going to rehab. Why do you think he's skipping rehab? It's such a great opportunity to clean up his life and to maybe get the 3 boys back.
He just don't want to do it, that's all I can say. I don't know, like, why? I don't know. If I was him, I would do it. Free treatment. I don't understand. You can tell what his priorities is. It's not getting his family back together.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he wouldn't do it. I really don't.
What do you think, John?
Well, I think it just shows how interested he is in getting his boys back.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it says a lot. And, unless there's stuff going on behind the scene we don't know about, it doesn't seem Candace is much interested either, from what I understand.
Yeah. That could have been his chance to step up as the good parent, and do something for the kids.
Right.
That would be good. Do you think there's any chance, Brandie, that he cut a deal with law enforcement and he's going to try to avoid being extradited back to Utah because there's no statute of limitations on what, and I'm being really careful with my words, what
Mhm.
Jeannie, Mary, and the other four women have said that he did when they were little. There's no statute of limitations on that. So do you think he's cutting a deal with law enforcement, or do you think it's
I
just not
don't.
being pursued?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there is much attention on it, than what everybody thinks. That's my opinion. But other people say different. I guess we'll find out.
What do you think, John?
Well, I mean, I think if Don Wells gets out of jail, that proves to you he is not going to be getting charged in Utah. Because their case, I mean, think about it. It's not getting better after 40 years.
Right.
If he makes it out of jail, Utah didn't have a chance to get him. So
Or not
I
enough
think
evidence.
if he makes it out, that tells us Utah is not coming. And, the things Don's admitted to himself, I've heard many conversations where he doesn't shy away from what they told. He keeps the ages the same and everything. It's apparent it happened.
Mhm.
I mean, I think there's no question
I think
about
it
it. But I think that no matter what we understand, that 40 years is what's probably stopping there from being justice. I know that the statute of limitations isn't supposed to be a thing, but after 40 years, I just think it'd be hard to prosecute.
And if you're just joining us, I'm interviewing John and Brandie Davis from John Davis True Crime. You're going to want to subscribe to their channel. They're awesome content creators. And if you want to join the top chat, please subscribe to Reporter Room. And if you'd be kind enough to give us a thumbs up to help us with the YouTube algorithm. And everything John, Brandie, and I are sharing are our opinions. So, why do you think, John, Jose was on that truck with H's father, Andrew? We're going to be talking about Andy, who is Jody Sue's ex, and we're going to talking about Andrew, who's H's father. And I will really make a point to make sure the audience knows who I'm talking about. Hi, Lady CG. Hi, Rianne. So, what do you think? Why was he on that truck? And if your house, was going to be delayed or whatever, just wait a couple of days. Why drive back?
Jessica, I've had Andrew on my show many a times. I have spoken to Andrew a ton. I still don't get it.
I don't either.
He kind of explains a lot of it away, and it just makes no sense no matter how many times you hear it. Jose is along for the ride, and he has no dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying? From what we're hearing, like homeless, and this is, whatever. But yet Jose's the one that stays. Everybody that has something vested in the move. This dude transferred his job. So that's not a small undertaking to get your job transferred from one place to another. You've lined up a house, there's so many things, rented the U-Haul, all this in 2 hours. You make the decision, I'm not going to do it. I just don't buy that.
Yeah.
I think the trip was for something illegal. I think that's why you got a lot of the players involved. If you look at all their backgrounds, we're not talking about angels here. And I think it's obvious that the trip was for something nefarious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting because that's kind of the gist that I was getting too, that there was something more going on. And it's great that you interviewed Andrew and tried to get to the bottom of it. What do you think, Brandie? Do you think it was weird that truck that they just turned around?
Yeah, something's not right. If you think they had a bunch of kids with them, you think kids would want to ride like 12 hours or so, then, 12 hours back. No way. I couldn't do that to my kids. It just doesn't make any sense. They don't have no plans. Well, they did have plans, and all of a sudden they just up and leave and say, no, we're going back home. So it makes no sense to me.
And get you, Andrew says they've unloaded most of this into a storage unit also.
Yeah.
Right.
So they even unloaded the truck and got that far and then changed their minds.
Yeah, he even said about getting the kids into school because the school was better. Remember he said something about
Yeah,
that?
he tried to explain to us, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't believe a word that comes out of Andrew. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but nothing he says really adds up. We looked it up. He told us the reason they were going to move was school districts. Tennessee school district isn't any better than New York's.
Yeah.
At the time, we looked up stats. We wanted to. I didn't believe it from the get-go because Andrew doesn't show much interest in his son Hunter H. I'm sorry, and when he said that the purpose of the move, a big part of it was for the better school districts, I was like, I'm sorry, that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I didn't buy that for a second.
It just doesn't make any sense at all. And it makes you wonder what they were unloading on that truck into the storage unit. So why do you think that Candace and Grandus and Allie, who apparently had never met Jose, just put him in the car and took him home to sleep in the basement where Summer slept?
Yeah, it makes no sense, does it?
I'm not like throwing any shade on Jose. I'm just like, I just think it's weird that they just.
My theory on this is whatever was unloaded into that storage unit, Jose stayed behind to help disperse it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's just all I can think.
Yeah, me too.
To protect the investment, because it could have been a very large investment. Mind you, they did have a U-Haul, so we don't know how much could have been in the U-Haul.
Right.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is why I love to interview John and Brandie Davis from John Davis True Crime. They always have interesting insights. So Brandie, Grandus said that she was talking about coming out of the camper, and I'm still on Jose for a second, but she said we came out of the camper talking about June 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And Jose was rumored to have some kind of, special relationship with Grandus, whether it was just a special friendship or whatever, but she was the one that drove him away when he got into the altercation with Dawn Wells. Right. Was Jose part of the we, or who was we came out of the camper, or was it Candace asleep in the camper?
Good point. I never thought about that. I don't know, because I don't think Jose was there. I've heard people say that he might have been there, but I don't know if there's any proof. So who else could it have been? Candace?
Yeah.
I'm not for sure.
Dudley in his story, he tells that Jose's still around near the time of all this. That could just be coincidence, but if you look at it, if you're in the party and thinks maybe he could have been there, it makes you wonder. Dudley did say that it was his understanding Jose was there.
And for those of you who don't know, Dudley Ajon is a former co-worker of Dawn Wells, and they had a massive falling out. Dawn says one thing and Dudley says that he owes money. I think Dudley has more credibility, in my opinion, than Dawn. Mm-hmm. But So that's interesting that he puts Jose in the vicinity. So maybe Grandus was talking about we as being Jose. Do you know what Jose's connections are to H's father, Andrew?
Yes. They were friends in New York for quite a while, according to Andrew.
Yeah.
And, now I get the feeling Jose might have been his friend's brother more than his, but I think he did know, from my understanding, now this is me weeding through what I think he's telling me that's true and what's not. My belief is the brother was better friends with Jose, and Andrew milks it because it gets views.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think because he kind of promised he was going to have Jose's sister on one night, and he got all this big build up, and then it turns out, she backed out on him and all this. I don't think Jose was super close to Andrew, but I think, like anybody else, it was your brother's friend, basically.
Yeah. I think his name's what, Jeffy?
Jeffy is what they call him. Now, I don't know the Hiltz family line too well, but it's his brother's who it is.
And is that your under? What were you going to say, Brandie? Go ahead.
That's weird that he would go on the trip to Tennessee with them. I guess he didn't have anything to lose, but him not even being too close to the family, just friends, you know. I still don't get why he was there.
You know, they talk about he rode in the back on the trip down. That's 12 hours in the back of a U-Haul. That makes me think also he's protecting what's in the back with him.
Yeah.
That just goes along with my theory more, you know.
Maybe they took the other stuff if they did have furniture and the kids, if they did get stopped or something, it would look like they were moving.
Yeah, it would look so good. You got all these kids with you. You're in a U-Haul. You know, you got the perfect cover. Most cops are going to want to help somebody in a situation like that more than they're going to want to give them a bunch of, you know, crap. Like they break down or something, you know, that's going to look as innocent as it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great cover.
You're right. You're right. Great catch there and great insight into that, you guys. And for those of you, we're going to be we're going to assess, John, Brandie, and I are going to assess Don Wells' letter. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And also you're going to want to subscribe to John Davis True Crime. He and Brandie are awesome content creators here on YouTube, and they also cover the Summer Wells case. And everything that Brandie, John, and I are sharing are opinions, and opinions are not facts. So we're going to talk about Jody Sue for a little bit. And Brandie, I'll start with you. Jody Sue's been coming out a lot lately. I mean, we've been hearing a lot from her over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And I initially believed her story about the scream that she heard and even had it factored into my timeline. But at the time, Sheriff Lawson said right then and there that he didn't buy the scream. And I don't know. I thought she just seemed so credible. I thought maybe, you know, maybe he was mistaken. But now she's setting off so many alarms with people. What do you think? You know, did she hear a scream that day? And
I think she's inserting herself into the story for some reason. Like she has some interest in it. I don't understand what it is yet, but I don't understand why she said that. I don't think the scream was real. I really don't.
You think she made that up?
Yeah, I do.
What
do you think, John?
I think you can trust Jody Sue about as far as you can throw her. That's what my dad used to say all the time, and I think it definitely fits with Jody Sue. There's a reason the police don't believe the scream.
Yeah.
You know, they're not just, you know, wanting to push it aside for any reason. I think they know Jody Sue and her character. I mean, she has an extensive arrest record. I'm not much of a fan. I don't think you can go, but I think she does a lot for attention.
Yeah, yeah. And the stuff she's been doing lately, coming out and saying awful stuff, you know?
Well, we don't. Yeah.
Well, the most latest thing was she was saying that Chasing Truth and Michelle After Dark, and there was one other channel, I can't remember what it was. They were the top tier, and they were paying the rest of us. They're paying us. They're not.
I didn't get my payment then.
No,
when did all that start?
Me either. Nobody did, because it's not true.
No,
but
she's very paranoid.
I thought that was such a weird thing to say. Like, I mean, she must know as a YouTuber that you don't make that kind of money to be able to be paying people, even if you have 30 or 40,000 subscribers.
Right.
You're not making big bucks at that point.
No.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought it was a bizarre thing to say, and it just seemed like another distraction. Yeah, so I don't think that Jody Sue abducted Summer. I don't think she did it, but I do think that she may have been covering up for something, in my opinion, or for someone. And I was, you know, thinking about her significant other, her ex, Andy. And I really want us to watch our words here. But what do you think would be a motivation for Jody Sue, being careful with what wording you're using, but what would you think would motivate Jody Sue to maybe cover something up for Andy?
Maybe if she had something to do with it, maybe. No, I think maybe it wasn't Andy. It might have been her son. Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe she's covering up for her. That's my opinion.
That's me. I don't think she would cover up for Andy, honestly. I mean, to me, it looks like if you follow some of her stuff, he's enemy number one.
Yeah.
I really believe if she could drop something on him and she had something good to drop, she would have dropped it.
Yeah.
Because she is so upset over his new relationship. She refers to what is now his wife as side dish or
something bad.
Something.
Not great.
She has some degrading nickname for her, and it seems like to me she's still hurt over that relationship, and she's doing everything. I seen a video, she had a piece of cardboard up, and it was talking about how much he owed in child support, and she went at it for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely bad. The relationship ended bad, and she hasn't moved on.
If there's a chance for her covering up for Andy, she probably has an interest or something she's done also that he knows about.
I thought maybe she would be like relying on him for money, and that would be a motivation. That was the only thing I could think of.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to link the two together.
See, if that's the case, though, then it's really got to blow your mind while she's harassing him on YouTube over back child support. If he is and giving her money or something, she's really not helping him out on the other end, because she has a definite distaste for him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So, if Jody Sue's also said that she's really worried this week about YouTube, or last week, I guess now it's Sunday, but technically, but she's been worried that somehow she's feeling nervous and threatened, and I just feel like, why doesn't she just take a break from YouTube, Brandie? Why does she stay on?
Yeah, I would. If I was nervous and scared and paranoid, I wouldn't be on YouTube, 16 hours a day streaming? I would take a break. I definitely would. So.
Yes, she's on for hours. I mean, I can't imagine streaming that long.
No.
What do you think, John? Why isn't she just why not take a break? Because it seems like she's digging herself deeper every week with new stuff. I guess it's getting her a lot of attention. She's getting talked about.
I honestly feel that she may have a definite issue. I mean, it's not normal for a person to stream the amount of time she is streaming. I think that could possibly point to some kind of mental health issue, because it's just abnormal. It's not right. And I think if I cared about her, if I was in her circle, I would try to talk to her and say, maybe you get a step back from the YouTube, because you got to think, if she is honestly believing some of the things she says about the dangers of what's going on and all this, if she honestly believes that, then she needs help.
Yeah.
Because that would be a bad world to live in, if you honestly believe the things she's saying.
Sorry, somebody just donated. Thank you, Rat 507. Sorry, John. Continue. I'm sorry.
I mean, to me, it points at it. There could be a deeper issue. I mean, you really got to commit to stream for the amount of time she does.
And she does have a daughter, right, that lives with her, I do believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So she does have a family. Her daughter. I don't know.
And I think her son is there also. So, and how, if you're streaming for that many hours, how do you have time to get anything else done? Like, I had so much to do today, and then it was just like, I finally sat down to stream, but I've been like running around like a crazy person all day to get my stuff done so I could do this. I can't imagine just having that many hours to sit.
No, I can't.
Right.
And not only is she doing that, she's doing this from a camper. So that's just in that little room all day long, that could not be good for you. Spending that much time in there doing that, it just reeks of something deeper.
Yeah.
To be living like that.
Maybe she's lonely.
Yeah. I'm starting to think.
Well, see, it was my understanding her son has left for the military.
Okay. So
Yeah,
maybe she's just really lonely and this is her community. I know she was undergoing cancer treatment, so maybe she's immunocompromised, and with the things that we can't talk about on YouTube going around, maybe she is stuck in that camper and this is
right,
her way to interact with people. So
right.
maybe that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she also claimed that Andy saw Summer Wells on June. She says she saw Summer Wells on June the 13th, and that Andy saw Summer Wells on June the 14th, and we know Summer disappeared on June the 15th. So Andy saw her right before. Do you think she's lying about this, or do you think there's some kind of truth in this, John?
Well, I mean, possibly Andy did see her on the 14th, but if the timeline is what we think it is, that I mean, is that the very important? They were neighbors, they seen each other, there were interactions. If in my opinion, I think Andy was selling them something at the time. That's just my opinion. So I think there were probably a lot of interactions, and it wouldn't be shocking to know that he was there the 14th to me.
And I've heard something similar. And I'm just really watching words here, but yeah, I think there was something like that going on, allegedly. What do you think, Brandie? Just being real careful how we word it.
Yeah, I agree with John. I think they knew each other and were kind of social with each other. There's a reason. Just because you're a neighbor don't mean you talk to them. I think there is something more. They were doing something. You know what I mean? But to your question, who knows if it's true or not? Jody Sue lost so much. Who knows? We don't know. So I don't really have an answer for that. She's not very truthful, so who knows if it could be true.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And so, what do you think about Candace and H and some of the rumors that have gone around with that? Do you think that Candace will be indicted for anything? Or do you think she and Dawn are just going to skate off scot-free and just have gotten away with this? The boys?
We asked Andrew about this, didn't we? About if he's going to file charges?
Yeah. Andrew said he was going to file charges. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
I made a video the other day, though, that it was something I found interesting. When the text message, I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, where Candace makes lewd remarks to H, the day that evolved, he changes his status to in a new relationship. Well, in the picture, he puts him and Candace. Could be a coincidence. I found that odd. I think there's definitely a case that something inappropriate happened.
Yeah. That was really strange.
If this would have been a man, a man, and it was a 15, 14, and H was 14 at the time the text message was made. He wasn't even 15 then, he was 14. If that would have been a 30-some-year-old man sending that to a 14-year-old girl, he went to jail for that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. It seems like there's a double standard there for boys and for girls.
Well, and it seems like everybody's quick to give Candace a pass for that for some reason, like it's no big deal. If that would have been your child and Candace would have sent that to him, you would have been very upset.
Yeah, I would, definitely.
I would have too.
Right?
But do you think Andrew's not upset because his child is a boy then?
It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. Andrew went out and told his son that he was a mistake and he wished he'd have never had him.
Bad stuff.
So, and that's on a recording. That's out there. I have the clip myself.
Awful. Why would you ever do that?
He admits to it. He doesn't see that as a big deal. So,
Yeah. And I think that's what H is missing in his life as a father figure, you know?
H could definitely use a male role model in his life because
Yeah.
Andrew's not one from Gloversville. He's so far away. And then, with the things you've already done to H, I don't know if you can come back from some of that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel bad for him.
I feel bad for him too. And H is just an innocent boy. If
Yeah.
you're just joining us, you'll want to subscribe to John Davis True Crime. My guests today are John and his wife, Brandie Davis. And also, if you want to, you can subscribe to Reporter Room. We would really appreciate it. You can join the top chat right here by just subscribing, and then you can put your comments up on the screen for everyone to see. Everything that John, Brandie, and I are sharing is our opinion. And we're going to be looking at Dawn Wells's letter together, and we're going to be dissecting that in a few minutes. But right now we're talking about H, Jody Sue, and Dawn and Candace. So, John, why did Candace leave the three boys at home to pick up H on June the 15th? I would love to get your take on that.
Part of me says it was because, well, no, most of me says it was because she was going to do something inappropriate with H. I don't understand, if you wanted to go and have a swim, why you wouldn't want to bring your sons too.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't take them, but then you go pick up a boy you hadn't seen in forever. And, the coincidences keep piling on when you put all this together. It doesn't make any sense why she would do it. And also, where they decided to have the swim at, okay, if you go down a little further, there's a really nice spot. It's got sand, it's a beach, and that's what it's for.
Right. Swimming.
I think the spot they picked tells a lot about the reason they picked it.
Yeah.
Right, because it's just a watering hole for the horses. It's not an actual swimming spot, right, Brandie?
Right. Yeah, they were wanting to be away from the public, so nobody see what they were doing.
They were going to do something nefarious, or you go swim at the beach. We'd much rather have summer at the beach where there's not sticks poking up and all this going on. You don't pick that spot because you're going to do something you don't want people seeing.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope.
Great point. Excellent point. So, Brandie, Beach Creek, we are learning now that Beach Creek and Ben Hill Road, there was and I'm watching my words here, traffic ring of adults and do you think that maybe this case is involved in that and it's taking law enforcement a longer time to build a case because there are more people involved than just Dawn Wells, Candus Bly, and Grandus?
Yeah, it could be a possibility, certainly. It's a good, a good thought. Maybe that's why it's taken so long, but who knows, That's why I think it might have been an opportunity with all those people in that area. They seen something and said, oh, that little girl just grabbed her, So it really makes you think. So it could be a possibility.
What do you think, John?
I think there's so many connections of the police department's former employees having them kind of charges against them. I think there's a very good chance it could be some sort of ring. I think the issue could be Hawkins County's tied in with that ring. Hawkins County's the lead investigation, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
That's why we're stuck the way we're stuck.
Good point. Yeah.
Or I think the ring might not have even been originally associated with Summer.
Right.
But it's getting tied in because the more you deep, you're noticing all these things that just don't quite add up. Yeah. I think there could be a ring and it not even involve Summer's disappearance at all.
Right.
Excellent point. Yeah, because the people that Dawn and Candace had in their orbit, not all of them, but a lot of them seem like they were not the very best kind of people, like the kind of people you would want to associate your children with, or you would want to associate yourself with. So that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. This is why I like having John and Brandie Davis from John Davis True Crime On, they have always an interesting insight and take on different things. And I think that this is how we learn more about this case. And I want to thank everybody who's watching today for helping to keep Summer's name out there. We really appreciate that. We don't want this case to go cold. So, and it kind of brings me back, John, to the whole thought is like why Jody Sue has been making so many odd statements on her channel that and this ring that we're talking about. If that could be a motivation for some kind of a cover up, that maybe she knows something, and doesn't want to say because she's afraid, and maybe that's why she's afraid. What do you think?
Well, if that's the case, if she's afraid, she's doing odd stuff because, she's drawing a lot of unnecessary attention to herself, and a lot of people seem to think that Jody Sue's tied to people that are, have bad histories with children. So if she does know about the ring or is involved, I would be really upset if I was in the ring because she draws so much attention to herself.
Yeah.
And, the odd things she says, it wouldn't be helping you if you were trying to,
cover it up,
cover things up.
Yeah, not say anything about it. Definitely.
What do you think, Brandie?
I agree. Yeah. I think she's even made comments saying that she's been threatened and stuff. So I don't know if they're true, but it could have something to do with,
Is that what?
her.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. No.
No, I was just saying she does make a lot of comments before, like she's paranoid and before after. I don't know, if it's true or not, so I really don't know how to answer that.
Because sometimes the cover up is worse than the crime.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and so maybe Sheriff Lawson is like come across more than what he thought, or TBI's come across way more than what they thought, and it's not. Maybe you're right, it's not related to Summer, but it is in the sense that it's the people around this family,
Right.
and possibly the family also. So Brandie, why do you think Dawn and Candace let such unsavory people into their lives, and like even just the judgment of bringing Jose home? I think Jose's an okay guy. He's not with us anymore, but I think he was an okay guy. But I wouldn't bring some guy I just met on the street to my house for a cup of tea, let alone to come live with me and my children.
I don't know. As a parent, I would never let strange men around my daughter, my boys, anybody. So I think it's just the people they hung around with, and they thought it was normal. They probably had strange people around their kids on the daily, every day, probably just the stuff they did and were involved in. So they have a bad judge of character, and they're not, who knows why they did it. It's strange.
That makes a lot of sense. What do you think, John?
I think it's kind of like when somebody will say, he was hanging around with the bad crowd. I think Dawn and Candace are the bad crowd.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're necessarily, I think it's more of a thing that people they hung around with were bad people, but probably still not quite as bad as them. I really think, you see the house, you've seen all this, things they've done, it shows. They do not have outstanding character.
Right.
People always ask me all the time, what if they're innocent? And I'm like, well, they're not innocent of being horrible parents, having horrible judgment, being, just ridiculous. The stunt they pulled. And I think Candace's little video that came out the other day, I think that was another attention grab. Mm-hmm. And, it shows to me they're not taking any of this serious.
No.
Like a grieving, loving parent would.
Yeah.
Do you see them fighting for Summer anymore?
No.
I haven't seen him really fighting for Summer in forever.
Yeah.
Don puts out his sorry little letter, and the letter's more about, oh,
Kim.
boo-hoo me, you mean kidnappers who the police don't know anything about got me fired. No, you would have got fired regardless because you got put in jail because you decided to drink and drive.
Right.
Nobody made you do that, Don. Quit playing the victim and bring the focus back to your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And John and Brandie and I are going to look at that letter, and we're going to go through it line by line together in a few minutes. So hang in there with us. If you're just joining us, I'm interviewing John and Brandie Davis from John Davis True Crime. You will want to subscribe to them. They have a lot of good videos on the Summer Wells case. They're excellent YouTube content creators. And if you're not subscribed already to Reporter Room, please subscribe. And if you do, you can join us in the top chat right here, and your video, or sorry, your comment will appear on this video. And we are on a delay, guys. So I saw a couple of people freaking out because they didn't see their comment right away. Nobody's keeping you from commenting. We are in a delay. We do have some filter on some words, though. Okay, so John, if Jose, what? Okay, so let's go back to Utah. When Don was gone to Utah, and he took the oldest son, and I won't say his name, to Utah with him, and Jody Sue Brown says it was related to some kind of an incident with at their house with one of Summer's little girlfriends, and just being careful with what our words are. Do you know anything about that? Have you heard anything about that?
I've never heard that.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. You kind of got me stuck on that. I've never heard that before.
I know the trip to Utah, but I didn't know about.
Yeah, I know all about the trip to Utah and what happened and all that, but I've never heard anything about that.
The story.
It's new. She just said it like a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, she said it was related to one of the friends, and I just thought it was kind of weird. And Brandie, Andy Bernard, who's Jody Sue's ex, according to Jody Sue, we talked about he was selling things to Candace and Dawn, and she alleges that some of the things were actually being used. We've all wondered about the last photo of Summer. I'm really watching my words here, but some of the things that Andy was selling were given to Summer. Have you heard anything about that, or do you have any?
Yeah, we heard that. I think we done a video. Did we?
Yeah, we did a video about
we
that.
We did a video about it. There might be some truth in it. I really don't know, but good possibility. What do you think?
Well, see, my thoughts on that is as soon as I heard that statement, I said, right now that should be recorded, taken to the sheriff's department, and there should be a charge for one of these two people. Either the one that she is claiming that happened and she's willing to testify to that, or there should be a charge on her for slander. Now, the big rumor is that after she said that, they both got called down to Ronnie's office and had a talking to.
Mm-hmm.
That's my understanding. I'm telling you, if I'm Andy and she said that, and that wasn't true, I'm doing everything I can to sue her for slander or whatever, because that's horrible to say. I don't personally believe that, but that shows you something about Jody Sue's character too. She's willing to tell that story. She knew that happened, yet she did nothing about it for a whole year. How many other victims would have come up in that year if the story she's telling is true?
Yeah, because she's right there with him. She knew.
She's quick to lay claims to all this information of all this nefarious stuff, but she never accepts responsibility for the fact, well, then you knew this was happening. How many more victims did you create by standing by and not telling us till a year plus later, and then only doing it as a way to attack the man?
Yeah. It seems like. What do you think? Do you think it's true, or do you think she's just trying to slander her ex because she's angry? Brandie?
I think there's truth to it. I think they did sell them stuff. I just don't know what, So I don't know about giving it to the kids, but I'm sure they made deals with each other.
On the videos that we like see of Summer at church, she's running around. She just seems like, she's, she's an outdoor girl. So trying to sit
Right.
still and quiet in a 650 square foot house, maybe, you know, if you've ever had, maybe they felt like she was hyperactive and just wanted to calm her down. But that day at the
Well,
swimming hole,
That's a good idea.
Jody Sue didn't make it like that's what they wanted to use it for either.
Right.
You know, and what she said, it was to sedate and something else. She didn't make it like, they were just wanting to help her sleep.
Yeah.
And she made it out like there were other people that were being given the same stuff Summer's age.
right? Yeah, we're really watching our words here, guys.
I'm
But
doing okay.
yeah, I've heard the same thing, John. I heard the same thing. If you're just joining us, I'm interviewing John and Brandie Davis from John Davis True Crime. You'll want to subscribe to them. They do a wonderful job covering the Summer Wells case. If you're not subscribed to Reporter Room, please do, and give this video a thumbs up and help us out with the YouTube algorithm. And we're going to be assessing Dawn Wells' letter in just a few minutes, but right now we're talking about Jody Sue Brown, and everything that John, Brandie, and I are saying is our opinion, and opinions are not facts. So please don't send any negativity to anyone. So, Brandie, Jody Sue Brown claimed that stated that last month she was sure law enforcement knows and about what Andy was allegedly selling to Dawn and Candace. Is this because she's cooperating with them, or is it because when they got called down, she told them? Or
I don't think they would tell her anything. I think she's just throwing it out there. I don't think it's probably true. She has no inside information. I don't think. Why would law enforcement give her any information of the case? So I think it's a lie. She don't know anything.
what do you think, John?
It's probably just a fairy tale made up by Jody Sue, but there is plenty of chances for there be corruption in the police department also. So I would not rule it out 100%. I only don't like it because of the source. If it come from somebody with a little more reputation, I probably would like it a lot better.
And do you think that's been part of the problem, John, is that we have, law enforcement, and TBI is investigating this also. We have, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and we have Ronnie Lawson's Sheriff Department. But all the witnesses have started YouTube channels and have said contradictory things. And, do you think that's part of the problem in bringing charges?
I think there is a huge issue between TBI and Hawkins County, is what I feel like.
What makes you think that?
Leslie Earhart was asked, what's the level of the parents' cooperation? Leslie Earhart says, I'm not going to comment on that because I don't want to lead to speculation. Ronnie Lawson's asked the question. He says they've hired attorneys. They ain't cooperating anymore. It seems like they're not on the same page on how to handle things at best.
Right.
And if you get an answer, the answer is that they're saying it's a parallel investigation to Hawkins County, but then you can also hear that Hawkins County is the lead investigator on the case, or the lead on the case, and TBI is assistant. If Hawkins County is who we're relying on, we will never find out what happened. I'm convinced of that. They have one detective working on this 3 hours a day at best. And, I just don't see anything coming to that until it's being more manpower put on the case.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important. What were you going to say, Brandie? Go ahead.
The press conference and stuff, they act like they don't have any interest in the case. They're just up there because they have to do the job. Is how I feel.
Hawkins County.
Yeah, Hawkins County.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's why it's so important we don't let this case go cold,
Yes.
in my opinion. So, if Summer had been, let's say, given something on the day that she went to the Warriors Path State Park, the last day that we have photos that we know Summer was there,
Mm-hmm.
she would have been at a high risk for an accident because she was already a child, a preschooler who couldn't swim and who didn't have a flotation device. And if they had given her anything on top of that, it really would have put her at high risk, don't you think, Brandie?
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially her being in the water, not knowing how to swim. So that's an accident waiting to happen. So yeah,
Do you think Candace was watching Summer, in your
no,
opinion?
no, I think she's doing other stuff with H probably. So I don't think she's
Yeah,
watching.
she didn't choose that spot to watch Summer. I
Yeah.
guarantee you that.
They're hiding something.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe if they did give her something, it might have been after the swimming hole, because that's where that picture comes about, her in the back of the car. And
Yeah.
to me, she don't look just asleep. You know, what child would be laying on gallons of milk cold, stacked up? So
Right.
it's very
And
strange.
and to me the nail beds. The nail beds, if you're dirty, your nail beds are dirty up here, but she's got all of her
Mm-hmm.
nail beds on her little hands are just so blue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, John?
I think the milk jugs tell it all. Nobody stacks milk jugs like that. It doesn't happen. Nobody's going to do it.
Right.
Those milk jugs were stacked up like that for one purpose, and that was because Summer couldn't stay up by herself under her own power or however. There's no other reason you stack milk jugs like that. Well, you can go over every clue in that truck.
Yeah.
The most telling thing to me is the milk jugs are stacked on each other.
If
You would not do that. There was a
That's a
box.
great catch, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
There is a box and a tote sitting beside her, okay? You know, if she needed something to lean up against, why would the milk stack?
Yeah.
They stacked the milk jugs up just for that picture and because she couldn't hold herself up. Nobody would stack them like
you
that.
put them in the floorboard. Anytime you stop the car, put
Yeah.
your brakes on, they go flying,
The vehicle's moving, the vehicle's moving when this picture's taken. You're going to have milk jugs stacked one on top of another in the truck for what? How many more options did they have in that truck?
Right.
5,000.
Yeah.
In the back, in the floor, on either side, up front, between Candace and Grandus. They'd have been anywhere but stacked on top of each other unless the purpose wasn't to prop Summer up.
Yeah, it's weird. Very
Wow. That's a mic drop moment right there. That's a great catch, you guys. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um, if you're just joining us, I'm interviewing John Davis True Crime. John and his wife Brandie are both here. You'll want to subscribe to their awesome YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to Reporter Room, please do. And feel free to drop a comment in the top chat. It will appear on the screen. So Jody Sue Brown says that before. Oh no, I'm going to skip that part. I want to watch that.
Jessica, I haven't said nothing bad yet. Have I been being careful?
No, we've been so careful. I'm just like, I just want to kind of not go over that. So Jody Sue has been going through her cancer treatment, and we know she was like really dependent on Andy Bernard. So that must have just been, a gut punch when he went, left her.
Mm-hmm.
So of the two of them, who do you think has more credibility, John, or do you think they would both have a motivation to not be completely forthright? Especially relating to him seeing Summer, the day before and her 2 days before, and then the whole thing where the dogs ran up to her, like came up to her, like the search dogs, right to her feet. I don't know if you saw the interview I did with Cracking Cases, but they had talked about that.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of that.
always see is Jody Sue's side, not much of Andy, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's just I've heard Andy very little,
me too.
but to me, I really feel like even if you hadn't heard him at all, you'd find him more credible than Jody Sue, just because we've heard so much of her, and I've heard her talk so much and tell so many different things,
Wow.
and just outright contradictions. I have no faith in what she's saying.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to wonder why she's saying as much as she is.
Yeah, me too.
If you're scared, why are you 24/7? I don't know what to trust from her, so I can't really say that I would, when it come to believing her or somebody else. I don't know Andy, but I'd have to lean toward Andy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Till we hear from him, then maybe we'll change our mind again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, he did have a live.
Oh, go ahead, John.
Did you see his live he had?
No, I haven't seen it. I didn't even know he had a YouTube channel.
Yes, The Real Andy B
Yeah,
is the name of the channel. He's done a live. He had numerous creators on panel and everything. They were fundraising for a camper, I think, right? It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. But the little bit of interaction you did have, he seems like a good old boy.
Yeah.
Is what he seems. Just the first impression. If I had to give a first impression, that'd be a good old boy. And, maybe he dispensed a little Mary Jane, possibly, allegedly.
Right.
That's how I feel about, with what I know about him.
Yeah.
What was your feeling, Brandie, on that?
To be honest with you, I didn't watch that live. So
You didn't see it?
no, I didn't watch all of it.
You have other things to do besides
Yeah.
stream for 12 hours in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I work a lot. John probably is in, he knows a little bit more than I do because he investigates and watches stuff. So he's told me about it though.
Yeah.
I just didn't watch it.
So, Brandie, I'm curious, who are your top 5 suspects right now, today? And have they changed from the last time we spoke?
Yeah. Probably Candace. Probably, I think maybe Jody Sue, or no, not Jody Sue, but maybe her son. Grandus is maybe covering up something. And then Dawn's probably covering up something. So that's 4, but that's probably my 4. 5,
Okay.
I don't know who else I would add. So
How about you,
4.
John? That's 4 is fine.
Okay.
However, you don't have to give me 5. If it's 3, if it's 2, whatever you want to give me. I'm curious. What do you think, John?
I would go Candace, Dawn, Grandus, JSB Jr., her son. After that, I really don't know of a good one.
No.
Don
That's
Sherfy's
all.
name's been coming up a lot.
I know lately it has. I haven't really, I don't know.
The problem I have with him is his son into it and been charged, and
Bad record.
you wonder if that could be a nature thing, and he learned it. It could have been learned behavior. That's the only issue I would have with him. I would think Junior more than Senior, just because of his past. Even though he doesn't have a stronger connection to the area, just because of his history, he has charges for things.
Right.
I would think Junior would be more likely.
I think I would agree with that. So Don Wells told Ernie Shell that Summer may have needed saving from a bad situation. What do you think that was about? This was before he went to jail. He told in a live, he told Ernie Shell that Summer may have needed saving from a bad situation. Do you think that Don has guilty knowledge of what happened to Summer, Brandie?
Maybe. That's a weird statement.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. saving from being a bad mother, Candace, but I don't know. I don't know what else he would mean by that. I really don't. That's weird. Was he meaning that like before she went missing or after? Was he implying it, or do you know?
It sounded like he was talking about before that she may have been needing saving from a bad situation. So I just assumed, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was talking about the current situation, but I assumed it was from before.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, you know, in my opinion, if it was before, there's good chances the bad situation could have been Dawn.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
If we're talking prior now, if he's saying the bad situation in terms of when she went missing, because that's how I kind of felt like he was saying that. It was like, needed saving from a bad situation, and that's what led to her becoming missing. Then he could be kind of incriminating Candace a little bit, because in Dawn's mind, probably he's not a bad situation. He wouldn't see it like that, I don't think. But I think he could see, Candace, something happened on Candace's watch, and that being the bad situation.
Yeah.
And they're both willing to throw the other one under the bus. We've seen him throw her under the bus, and we've seen her literally name him in a live stream as one of her suspects.
Oh, yeah.
So that was kind of a shocker. So, John, we're going to take a look at Don Wells' letter. And the letter concerns me because Don is leading a plea. He's supposed to be writing us a plea to get Summer back. And instead, he's talking about her education instead of saying, the first sentence to the abductors or the kidnappers should be something about, hey, I need to get my daughter back. She's missing. We love her. She's precious to us. Instead, he's talking about her education. What did you think about that, John? And I'm going to ask you the same thing, Brandie.
Okay.
I think that it's another example of them saying something they think normal people would say.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's that. They think if a normal person was in their shoes and they were going to do this, they would say that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think it's whoever. I think that letter might have had more than one author, and I think it could have possibly had 3. And they thought it would look appropriate there. But to every normal person out here, it just seemed so odd to talk about that instead of, you're saying, when you took her education or however he phrased it, you would think, I would be saying, please, I want her back, this and that. It's so out of place.
Yeah.
It just seemed like an odd thing to open with.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's early in the letter. I think that's what made it even stick out more to everybody and seem out of place and just unoriginal.
Okay, so you said 3 authors.
Yes.
Who are you thinking?
Mr. Mullins. Somebody's got to be helping. I don't think he's creating these things from prison or from jail. Okay. Yeah.
And I have a theory why he's creating these letters. I'm going to tell you what it is in a minute. But first, I want to hear from John and Brandie. Go ahead.
And then there was a third person that was just really eager to have their name mentioned in it, and even narrated it. Could have had a hand in it too.
Oh, the British person.
Yeah.
That was unusual. What did you think about that? Summer's gonna miss out on her education. Brandie, did that sit right with you?
No, as a mom, that's the last thing I'd be thinking about, having my kid missing. I would be, give me my kid back. What are you doing? She needs to be back with her family. I would be pleading with the kidnapper. I wouldn't be thinking about education. So it's very, very strange, very strange. And I have a different opinion. That makes me think it was Dawn, just how it was Rose bad. So really,
yeah, try normal.
Yeah. So I think it might have been him. Maybe somebody went over it, but I think he was behind it.
And if you think about that, how they put, ruin her chance at education,
Mhm.
that makes you think whoever phrased that line doesn't plan on her coming
Yeah.
back.
Don't have any hope.
Didn't say, because you wouldn't ruin it
Right.
completely unless she never came
Yeah.
back. You might temporarily, you messed her chance up to go to kindergarten.
Right.
But they said ruined her education, like the complete thing. There wasn't no chance for her coming back, and whatever. Whoever said that to me don't think she's coming back.
No.
And it wasn't like they had like a prepaid college plan in place or something like that, where they
Right.
were really worried about her future education.
Right.
So the other thing that he talked about was, besides ruining her chance for an education, which seemed really odd in the light of the
Right.
fact that he should have been focusing, as you said, Brandie, on her well-being.
Right.
He also said that this lack of education is ruining Summer's life. But Brandie, wouldn't you think that the abduction and the fact that this kid has been missing for 12 plus 13 months, isn't that ruining Summer's life?
Yeah, I agree. She don't have a life, if she's gone, So that makes no sense. The whole letter is strange.
And that's kind of a weird part to put too, because you hear Jodie Sue, she complains a lot about the generational curse.
Yeah.
Talking about these kids don't have a chance at education because of this generational curse. And that kind of has that feel to me, that part of it. And maybe that kind of shows the area, how the thinking is a little bit.
Right.
That just feels close to me on what she always says about the generational curse.
It sounds along the same lines. So, Don Wills also said that the kidnappers have broken the hearts of himself, Candus Bly, and the three boys. And then he goes on to say, quote, the public blames us. And the three boys are included in this. What did you think about that portion of the letter?
I don't. To me, it's just odd to be writing a letter to kidnappers that nobody but you and a few others think exists.
Yeah.
And why is it kidnappers not abductors? There's a difference, okay? I don't know if he understands that. Typically, with a kidnapping, there's a ransom. He should be phrasing all this to abductors because he sounds like he doesn't expect to get her. And it's so odd that we're writing letters to kidnappers to begin with. None of it makes any real sense to me. And it seems self-serving because I feel like it's more about what's been done to him and his family than it is about we want Summer back. Right. It feels like nothing's about wanting Summer back.
Yeah.
It's all poor me, poor Don Wells.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you have the same feeling, Brandie?
Yeah, it makes him look like he's a victim, or he wants to portray himself as one. To me, is what he's trying to do.
And I have a theory about why these letters are coming out. I'm going to share it with you in a second, but I want to hear from John and Brandie first. So you think that he has kind of a victim mentality, Brandie?
Yeah, poor me. Yep. I do. Definitely.
Yeah, he has a horrible one, and it seems like, that's another characteristic him and Jodie Sue share is this victim mentality.
Yeah.
I think she really portrays that.
And my other thought was, would an abductor, I think he's using the word kidnapper, which you're right, it's for a ransom, but would a kidnapper care at all about Don Wells's feelings?
No.
Or him losing his job. He blames the kidnappers for losing his job and stuff. Do you really think if somebody's taking your child, they care that they hurt you, your wife, your kids, your job? I mean, it's so naive. That's why it's so just wild that we're talking about this. It seems so odd to do.
It really does. The whole letter was it just didn't hit me right. Because nobody is blaming the three boys.
No.
Nobody, right,
No.
Brandie?
Yeah, they're the true victims, you know. So nobody's blaming them.
Yeah, we talk about the boys a lot because we really want everybody to lay off the boys, stay off their name, quit showing their pictures, let them
Yeah.
have a chance at a life.
Right.
These boys can be in great homes right now, and that's what we all pray for, and have a real chance at having a successful life career. They've lost their sister. Nobody, no matter what we think about Dawn and Candace, that's their parents. They love their parents. Their parents are gone out of their lives too. They've lost their whole family. We don't even know if they're together. I really would like to say, I really wish people would stay off the boys and not be insinuating this and that, because they're as big a victims as Summer was.
Yeah.
You know, they can't
Yeah,
help
we
what
don't,
was
I'm
going
so
on.
glad you guys feel that way because I've been the same way on my channel. I don't show the boys. I don't
Yeah.
call them out by name, and I feel the same way you do, John and Brandie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, by people doing that, you're hurting their chances, and I want them to have the best chance they can.
Me too. Definitely.
I do too. I love that you guys feel the same way. So Brandie, Don also writes that in the midst of all the commotion and it ruined our lives. And again, it just seems kind of narcissistic and it seems minimizing that he's calling the disappearance of his daughter commotion.
Yeah. That's fair.
What did you think about that?
The whole letter is like me, me, me. It should be about Summer, you know, pleading with the kidnapper to give her back. And the focus is in the wrong spot. It's just very strange. Everything he says.
To me, though, this doesn't show just Dawn. To me, it shows him, Tim, and the other person that was involved on it that helped put this out. Did nobody realize how awkward and off-putting and odd all this was? They might want to step in there and said, look, maybe you should, say something about missing your daughter and this and that. And, it's amazing that this went through at least 3 people and it came out and we seen the finished version we saw. In my opinion,
and everything we're sharing is our opinion, guys.
Right.
Go ahead, John.
But I mean, like there's so many parts of it that just seem so weird, and I can't believe that this is the final draft. Let's just say it that way.
Don't let me think it was Dawn that wrote it. Who would let him write something like that and put it out?
Well, the video was made, so it didn't come from Dawn to us, and nobody stopped it. Is what's my point.
True.
Nobody said, "Whoa, that just seems creepy."
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not appropriate for what's going on.
Yeah.
And it just feels like he's minimizing what happened to Summer by just talking about it as being a commotion.
That's crazy.
Right.
That just felt very like he was devaluing it. So John, he said, no one will hire Candace, and he's been fired from a job he's had for 13 years. And, he took off to Utah while Jose was staying at Candace's house. So that part didn't ring true. What did you think about that part of the statement in Don's letter?
The nobody will hire Candace thing. Well,
she's not.
I don't feel like she's out pounding the right now looking for employment.
Right.
I could be wrong. Yeah, that's my opinion. There are plenty of work from home jobs.
Right.
Brandie works from home.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to see your face. There's nothing on her record now that wasn't there before. Okay. There's the jobs are flowing pretty well in places right now. I think if she really wanted a job, she could have one.
Yeah.
As for him, how is he going to cry about losing his job when he went to jail? Unless they were gone, we'll wait the however many days until you get out. He was going to lose his job because of his own actions.
Right.
I don't get the sob story for that. I don't buy none of it. It's more of something that's not reality.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's not reality. Cannon wanted the job bad enough she could get one, and Don, you did it to yourself, buddy.
I agree with all of that. If you're just joining us, I'm interviewing John Davis, True Crime. John Davis and his wife, Brandie Davis, are both here with us. You will want to subscribe to John Davis True Crime. It's a really good YouTube channel that covers the Summer Wells case as well. If you're not already subscribed to Reporter's Room, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up so I know that you were here, and also to help us grow our channel. So, Brandie, would you describe that letter as being narcissistic tendencies? Maybe not just from Dawn, but with whoever also wrote it and didn't like see what us three are seeing and what most of the
Yeah,
viewers are seeing.
yeah, I think so. Definitely. That's a great example, really. So yeah, I agree. Nobody,
What
no
did you?
normal. I couldn't say normal person would write that, but come on, that letter's awful.
It's bad. I agree.
It's bad. You wouldn't think anybody, and
Tim Mullen's not doing his job.
Tim Mullins, he is not doing himself any justice. He ain't going to get no work down the road putting out stuff like that.
No, no.
Yeah, he should be trying to help Don's public image, and he apparently himself must not have a good enough personality to realize how bad that shit sounds. Sorry, that's stuff.
No,
We're
I
just saying
agree.
Candace can't get a job. I want a job. I think he's preparing to get donations when he gets out of jail.
Yeah,
Warming
that could
everybody
be
up.
it. Warming everybody up when he gets out. Look, hey, y'all ruined me. These
Yeah,
darn kidnappers done ruined me. I'm going to need some money.
I need help.
He's going to run that Cash App streaming on the bottom of his thing to profit off of his daughter's disappearance.
And he's the,
And
I was thinking too. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, go ahead, Brandie. What were you going to
I
say?
think he's the one that is creating the commotion in the case. He's on YouTube before he went to jail, so I just thought about that. But he made his own commotion about the case. So,
And I just want to give my thoughts on why I think this letter was written. I don't think it was written to the kidnappers or the abductors. I don't think it was written to Summer. I think these letters are about manipulating us. And I think it's to get the public to feel sorry for Dawn Wells, Candus Bly, and it's about getting that Netflix special by getting sympathy for Dawn and Candace, because let's face it, Netflix is not going to make a positive video about Dawn and Candace. If they do make something about the Summer Wells case, I don't think Dawn and Candace are going to, come out favorably in the airing of that, kind of like the show Dirty John or the Betty Broderick story. They don't come out looking, or Ted Bundy, they don't come out looking good. So I think it's about getting a Netflix special. What do you guys think? Is that possible? Do you think that Tim Mullen is looking for a Netflix deal, and that this is what these series of letters are all about, to rehabilitate Dawn in the public's image, in Dawn's image in the public eye?
It could be. And, it could work on some people. There are people that will read that, hear that, and be like, oh, there's a man who loves his daughter. They'll come out of that reading it, and there will be people that will buy it.
Yeah.
And, I don't think his personal reputation in the public is going to matter as much as the story has gotten so big and wild now. I think could be something coming.
Yeah.
I don't think Tim Mullins has helped it, but I think he definitely wants to be a part of it. And you could be right, exactly right. This could be him trying to set it up.
Yeah.
I don't think he did a great job. But Tim, I'm going to give you some advice. Don doesn't have to be a good guy. You can make him a villain, and Netflix would probably like it better.
Right.
That's Don Wells should be careful what he wishes for, because I think that's exactly what would happen. Tim Mullen probably doesn't care. He gets the commission either way. He's going to get his 10 or 15 or 20%, whatever deal he's worked with Don. He's going to get his money no matter how Don is portrayed. Right, Brandie?
Oh yeah, he will. I think maybe there wasn't people were losing focus on the case, and it was a good time to put letters out, right before Dawn gets out of jail. So it might have had something to do with it too, you know.
Well, he's got everybody on the internet talking about this case again, and I think that's at least one good thing is we're all still talking about Summer Wells. And I just want to thank you, John and Brandie, so much from John Davis True Crime. If you guys aren't subscribed to them, you definitely will want to. If you're not subscribed to Reporter Room, please do and give this video a thumbs up. And I have a question for our viewers. If you would leave me a comment in the comment section below, was this letter all about cashing in on Summer's disappearance? Or do you think this really was a genuine, heartfelt letter from a father who misses his child? Please leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. With that, I'm going to thank our producers, Energy Shots and Sasha, and our channel members. And I want to thank John and Brandie so much for taking time out on a Sunday evening to be with us. It really means a lot to have you here and to hear your insights. You have, such an interesting take on stuff. I hope you will feel free to know that you are welcome to come back to Reporter Room anytime. We would love to have you back again. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you so much. We had a great time, and thanks everybody that come and supported us. And have a good day, Jessica. We missed you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I know
you
you're
guys.
Oh,
I
welcome.
was.
Yeah, we were worried about it.
I got a nice email from John and Brandie while I was sick, and it was it meant a lot. Thank you guys. It really did. You guys are good people.
Oh,
Thank you.
And thank you to all of our subscribers. You guys are awesome. And I will see you guys next time we have another live stream on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And tomorrow for Munchausen Monday, we have the finale for the Gypsy Rose case, if you would like to see that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.